So the mainstream media is still mad at President Trump for removing illegal immigrants and gang members, but allowing 59 white people from South Africa who are having their lives and land threatened to come to America. Well, Politico magazine decided to broach the topic, and they asked the wrong guy about President Trump and his illegal behavior. Listen to what Sebastian Gorka, a top Trump aide and defender, as he goes crazy defending President Trump and victims versus defending gang killers like the Democrat Party.
A member of Al-Qaeda. If you're a member of Al-Qaeda, you're a terrorist.
How do you know if they're members of these gangs? What I'm saying
You mean
is,
the tattoos, MS-13 on their knuckles doesn't, that doesn't help it.
Those.
Do you have tattoos of Al-Qaeda?
The tattoo did not say MS-13.
Wrist?
I don't want to get into that.
Oh, of course it does. It's just accidents that the four symbols represent the letters MS. See, this is why Politico is a joke. This is why you are gutter press and fake news. That those four symbols that just happen to comport with the letters MS and the numbers 13 don't, in this case, represent MS-13. You're sitting here live defending a member of MS-13. That's why I regret coming here, because this isn't journalism. This is protecting those who hate America. Shame on you. We are saving lives. Sir. Saving lives. How about Maryland fathers compared to Maryland mothers? Like Rachel Marin, mother of 5, raped and murdered and thrown in a ditch. How about Jocelyn Nungare, age 12, raped a mile from her home and thrown in a ditch? It's strange that Politico doesn't do articles about her, that mother, or that 12-year-old girl. Why is that? Why is the MS-13 guy with the knuckle tattoos more important in terms of due process than the lives of 12-year-old girls brutally raped? It's weird that the priorities shift to defending the member of an FTO, but not the children and the women. Dan Crenshaw told me a story once of a 16-year-old girl who was smuggled across this border. The parents paid $5,000 for her to live in America, the land of milk and honey. She ended up locked in a room in New York, raped by more than a dozen men every day for 18 months until she escaped. She went to Dan Crenshaw's office, and I'm no friend of Dan Crenshaw's, okay? He's still got TDS. And that girl said to him, please close the border so another girl doesn't have to be raped by 12 strange men every day for 18 months. It's strange that Politico doesn't cover those stories. Could you tell me why?
We have covered.
No, you haven't. You have not covered those stories. I'd like to see the Jocelyn Nungare, Rachel Marin stories in comparison to the Russia collusion garbage.
Yikes. Would you want to be on the other end of that? I mean, they kicked the wrong hornet's nest. This is why Politico is gutter trash. You defend criminal gang members versus the victims. Yikes. What do you guys think of that? They definitely poked the wrong bear. Yesterday, HHS Secretary RFK Jr. testified before the House and Senate, marking his first appearance since confirmation. RFK's confirmation hearing for HHS Secretary highlighted sharp division over his views on vaccines and public health. Lawmakers questioned him on his priorities and future plans for the agency. Democrats, especially Senator Chris Murphy, pressed Kennedy for not fully endorsing the measles vaccine, though he eventually said he supports it. His cautious approach to medical consensus drew criticism. During that time, he said, why won't you just tell everyone to get vaccinated? Why won't you just say, go get the measles shot? To which RFK Jr. said, if you knew there was an alligator, would you tell someone to go swimming? I wouldn't. The truth is there is danger that has never been explored, and we should be getting all the data to protect these children. Now, Kennedy defended his budget, saying that they would save $1.8 billion a year if he could go back to pre-pandemic levels. This is what Senator Johnson wants to do with the government spending. This is what RFK Jr. wants to do with HHS. They're saying, no, we want you to continue to spend money. Why? Because Big Pharma keeps us in office. That's why We can't have you lowering the money that we're spending. Those people vote for us. Now, Bill Cassidy, to his credit, he's an anti-Trump guy, but to his credit, he said, listen, RFK Jr., will you please do more research into long COVID? What I wish he would have said was COVID shots damage, because that's what long COVID really is. It's actually vaccine damage. Now, let me show you something else. During the middle of his testimony, a big fight broke out about health and vaccines and climate change. But then on top of that, you had the founder of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Out of nowhere, he stands up and starts yelling that RFK Jr. is personally responsible for killing people with AIDS. What are you talking about? Anthony Fauci is the person responsible. Anthony Fauci made people use his medication and no other medication, and then it turned out it was his drug that was killing people, not the disease. Anyway, listen to what the founder of Ben & Jerry's did.
A reminder, disruptions will not be permitted while the committee conducts its business. Capitol Police are asked to remove the individuals from the hearing room.
Now, honestly, what is the CEO and president of a major corporation standing up after climate change activists are screaming and being kicked out, health nuts, vaccine nuts, standing up, screaming, being kicked out? He suddenly stands up. This guy's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and starts screaming that RFK Jr. is responsible for gay men with HIV and AIDS dying. This guy's off of his rocker. And speaking of off of his rocker, Senator Bernie Sanders, who says he's been trying to lower drug prices for 20 plus years, he decided to go after RFK Jr. for Trump's tax cuts. Listen to this.
There are $235 billion in tax breaks for the top 0.2%. Do you think that makes sense when that same bill would throw 13 million people off of Medicaid? Should we give tax breaks to billionaires and throw kids and others off of Medicaid?
You're conflating the congressional bills with the proposals from the president. The president
No, I'm talking
is
about
not
the
making
congressional
any-
bill. I'm talking about the bill, the reconciliation bill.
I mean, the president is not trying to do tax cuts for billionaires. He's trying to have no tax on tips and no tax for overtime.
$235 billion by
How
through the
many
estate
people,
tax.
how many billionaires do you know that are making overtime or making any part of the tips?
235 billion. Look, it's a big bill. There are a lot of provisions in it.
Oh, Bernie Sanders, you remind me of old Chucky Schumer. President Trump has the worst polling of any president in 100 days. Mr. Schumer, your polls are terrible. We don't care about polls. Now you have RFK Jr. saying, wait a minute, Trump's tax cuts are to remove taxation from overtime and from tips. Bernie Sanders is like, no, he's going to help billionaires. How many billionaires do you know that are receiving their money in the form of tips and overtime? I mean, it's just stupid. These people, they don't even come prepared to actually have a debate. All they want is a soundbite and to make somebody look bad. Well, guess what? Bernie Sanders, you're the one that ends up looking bad. All right. Now, yesterday, President Trump and comedian Theo Von surprised military members at the U.S. military base Al-Adiyad Air Force Base in Qatar. He was greeted with a standing ovation and salutes and a massive round of applause. People yelling, "We love Trump." He looked like a rock god that just entered the arena. Now, President Trump then announced he is building into the budget to give every military personnel a much needed pay raise because they are amazing and often overlooked for pay increases. We give more money to Lockheed Martin and Skunk Works and Norman Grunther, but do the people that actually go and fight our wars or defend our borders, do they get pay increases? No. So Donald Trump says it's time for the military men and women to get a pay raise. On top of that, President Trump did a middle of the night press conference on Air Force One, where he said it looks like Iran is open to a peace deal and removal of all nuclear weapons and programs. President Trump said if this ends up being true, then Iran could re-enter the world, a new nation, and be able to trade. If they don't, they will find out the hard way what it means to betray him. Now, I believe in my heart, President Trump is a president of peace. He desperately wants to avoid war with Iran, but isn't going to allow the number one funder of terrorism to threaten Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the United Arabs of Emirates, or the United States. Therefore, they can never have a nuke. So this is a big deal. This is President Trump extending an olive branch to Iran, saying, come on, let's work together. Let's do trade, not trading bullets and bombs, but real economic value. If you're a homeowner, when's the last time you checked the title of your home? You know, the legal document that proves that you own it. If your answer is never, you should know about a growing scam the FBI calls house stealing. It's shockingly easy for criminals to forge documents called a quitclaim deed. They transfer your home into their name without you even knowing it. Here's how it works. Scammers create a fake version of your signature, add a notary stamp they can buy on Amazon, and file with your county recorder. Suddenly, your home no longer belongs to you. But they're not after your home. They're after your home equity. They take out loans against your property, leaving you with a financial and legal nightmare. Protect yourself from the devastating scam with Title Lock protection from HomeTitleLock.com. Start by checking to see if your title is still in your name. You can visit HomeTitleLock.com, enter your address for a free title scan. Use promo code Stephen Gardner. Don't wait. Protect your home equity. Visit HomeTitleLock.com right now and secure your home's title before it's too late. I'll leave a link down below. President Trump also announced a landmark $1.2 trillion economic investment with Qatar during his state visit, boosting American manufacturing and innovation. The agreement includes $243 billion to Boeing, GE Aerospace, and other Trump agenda items to make America great again, to bring manufacturing and jobs back to America again. In a statement made by the White House, it stated, "This is Boeing's largest ever wide-body order and the largest ever 787 order. This historic agreement will support 154,000 U.S. jobs and over 1 million collective jobs that go into building airplanes in America." This is massive, you guys. This is so amazing. Also, Qatar, according to Breitbart News, is ready to invest another $45 billion into the United States liquid natural gas through Golden Pass LNG. Now, Golden Pass LNG is a $10 billion effort in Texas, backed by Qatar and ExxonMobil, to turn an old LNG, liquefied natural gas, import terminal into a operable terminal. This will create thousands and thousands of jobs. It can hold $18 million of LNG, or 18 million tons, of LNG. So this is massive. This is absolutely massive. All the money coming out of Saudi Arabia, all of the money coming out of Qatar, all of the money coming out of the United Arab Emirates. This is just massive. Now, Charlie Kirk summed this trip up best. He said, "Understand what is really happening right now. President Trump is recalibrating the Middle East to look west. Like them or not, it's in America's interest that these countries invest in and partner with America, not China." All right, now this is interesting. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Senator Ted Cruz's Invest in America initiative grants every American newborn $1,000 in a tax-free investment account to foster early wealth building for our future generations. Parents can invest in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds with annual contribution from family members or businesses up to $5,000 a year. Senator Ted Cruz emphasized that this would promote capitalism and savings for future generations, comparing this to the Democrat program of a baby bond where the U.S. government is in charge of managing your money. Let me know in the comments, would you rather invest in the S&P 500 or have the government grow your money for you? I mean, I already know the answer, but only leave funny comments down below, right? Now, would this help you if when you had a child, money could be put aside so that by the time they're 18, they've got maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars for school, starting a business, buying a house, starting a family? Let me know in the comments down below. Personally, I think I would rather just save more money on my taxes, but let me know your thoughts down below. However, I see what Ted Cruz is saying. In the S&P 500 or the market, you're going to get double-digit growth many, many times versus having the government manage your money. I mean, look at how they ran Social Security. They stole from it. They got worse than bank returns on it. They allowed 20 million illegal immigrants and fraudsters to steal money from it. They then blamed senior Americans for not being prepared and then publicly announced the program is going bankrupt. So don't let the government ever touch any of your money is my highest recommendation. So yeah, if this comes out, definitely stick your child's money in the S&P 500 or Dow Jones or something that can get better than inflation and better than bank rates. All right, now while in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia announced they will be buying billions of dollars of Tesla humanoid robots from Elon Musk. He said the future of robots will change the world and grow the economy by 10 times, maybe even 100 times. This made me want to look into this. Go ahead and check this out with me together. So these robots, this is not CGI. This is not fake. These are real robots that are walking around the Palo Alto office. They're doing tasks. They're carrying things. They can dance. I mean, this looks fake. This looks super fake. It's not. These are real. And it's pretty scary, but also pretty cool at the same time. Here's the thing that was strangest to me. It says at the end of the day, when they know that their day is over, these robots plug themselves in and rest so that they're ready to go tomorrow. You guys, the future is science fiction. It's either going to be great or scary. Oh, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you want one of these robots? I think as long as they are programmed not to kill us, that they're actually going to be really cool to have around. They're going to do jobs that people don't want to do, and it's going to be crazy. But I definitely want to hear from you. All right, now I want to show you something from Chuck Schumer, and then I'm going to comment on it.
This is one of the most disastrous and poorly thought out policies that the Trump administration has done thus far, and that's saying a lot. First, the disaster to American families is dramatic. It's estimated the average family, it'll cost them $5,000 more a year. Second, what it does is it makes everybody just worry about spending money. Businesses like certainty. And when there's no certainty, because Donald Trump has been so erratic, businesses hold back on spending, on training, on hiring people. And it's so poorly done. Do you know, Dana? This policy taxes penguins, but not Putin, because the herd and McDonald Islands are in the tax. All they have is penguins.
Yeah.
He leaves Putin alone. It's crazy. It's poorly thought out, but most of all, it's a disaster. So one more point. Why is he doing this? to give tax breaks to his billionaire friends. They are all in that billionaire bubble. They just talk to themselves and they don't know how badly they're hurting average American families.
Right. So that's an old clip. I wanted to show you because Chuck Schumer is just dead wrong. Did you know that it costs over $10,000 more per year to live in America because of Joseph Robinette Biden and the Democrats? Yet here's Chuck Schumer on live TV with Dana Bash saying it would cost $5,000 more to live under Trump and his disastrous policies. However, let me do a reality check. According to data put out today, inflation fell to a 4-year low. Gas prices fell for the 3rd month in a row. Airfare, energy, hotel prices are all down, and grocery prices had the biggest decline they've ever had, or not ever had, sorry, that they've had in the last 5 years. Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, and the rest of those clowns on the Hill are lying. They lie, lie, lie. They do this to breed anxiety and fear. This is fear porn, and I hate them for doing this because none of it is true. Life is getting better under Donald Trump, and it's proven right here. Now, is life still expensive? Yes, it went up under Biden, but now they're trying to blame Donald Trump. Things are getting better. Interest rates are down. Gas prices are down. Eggs are down. Groceries are down. Hotel, airfare, all of it coming down. It's just amazing. All right, final story for you, and this one ends with a whopper, or, well, actually with a Tootsie Roll. Shifting focus to the latest development in the P. Diddy case, Cassandra Ventura, publicly known as Cassie, has resumed her testimony in the federal sex trafficking and racketeering trial of Sean P. Diddy Combs. Speaking before the court, Cassie shared disturbing details of abuse and manipulation for over a decade. She described being forced into drug-fueled freak-offs involving male prostitutes, saying the experience left her feeling disgusting and humiliated. Ventura also alleged repeated physical abuse, black eyes, busted lips, and claimed Sean P. Diddy Combs controlled her personal life, music career, and pressured her regularly for unwanted sexual acts. Now, Combs has pled not guilty to any of that. He would end up a life sentence in prison. Cassie's testimony is central to the government's case against P. Diddy. Her appearance follows a 2023 civil lawsuit, and it has sparked the circulation of a 2016 hotel surveillance video where he literally runs out in a towel and beats the living snot out of this woman. I'm not going to show it because I don't like abuse. Now, here's where it gets kind of weird, and then right at the end, do not leave yet. Furthermore, former Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight suggested that President Trump might consider pardoning Sean P. Diddy Combs if he's convicted, because Trump knows what it's like to go through these stressful trials. Suge Knight stated, "I feel that Puffy's going to be all right and has a fair shot. He's not a dummy. I'm quite sure somebody's going to talk to those jurors and convince one or two of them that that's all you need. At the end of the day, I think everything's going to be all right. I think he's got some favors with the government. I think they're going to show him a little bit of leeway. I'm not what seems like, anyway, I'm done. I just think he doesn't have to be worried. If he's convicted, Trump's going to pardon him." What is this guy talking about? President Trump has nothing to do with P. Diddy. They don't live the same way. They don't act the same way. So, Suge Knight, I think you're talking about maybe some of the people on the P. Diddy videos. They might try to call in some favors, but don't try to lump Donald Trump in with this. Now, here's the last thing. A new lawsuit testimonial of P. Diddy said that his pee-pee is the size of a Tootsie Roll. Ouch. Dang. I definitely would not want, as entered into evidence in a trial, a peepee the size of a Tootsie Roll. All right, I'm just going to leave you on that. The news is crazy. I don't make this stuff up, you guys. I just deliver the news to you guys. Hey, if you could, give this video a like, hit that subscribe button. We're almost to 2 million amazing truth seekers. I want to get there, and I want you to go there with me. Thank you for allowing me to be your source of truth and news. I love you. Stay amazing, and I'll see you on the next video.